Hello! Matty coming at you with another Final Fantasy episode. Welcome to the video, thank you for joining me. And today we are not actually carrying on with the dungeon series. Bit of a special one, this one. I'm actually going to go for an E12 Savage clear, so Eden's Promise. Please be advised that this is not considered a guide. I will of course talk through the fight as we go, just giving like kind of brief overviews of what the fight is. But it's not going to go into the depth and detail that a full-blown guide would do. This is just more a bit of fun and just to show people who may want to see what it looks like and see what the high-end content looks like. But here we go. Enjoy the opening shot and I will speak to you in a moment.
Eden will become a utopia. One that we may share for all eternity.
She's still in there. Somewhere. I won't give up on our future, Gaia. No matter what!
So this is my final night of raiding as well with this static. We've been going at this for a couple of months. I think this is about the 16th, 17th clear. And then after tonight we are actually calling it a night. We made a bit of a mistake in this phase, but it happens. But here we go, let's pull. So we start off the phase just by nuking, put up as many shields as possible. She does quite a lot of big AoE damage just even in this opening section. So I'm just optimising my rotation, trying to get that nailed down. Just waiting for the first mechanic, which will either be a Shiva spread or a Titan stack. So you have to watch the cast bar. And it is a junction Shiva, so that means it's a spread. So everybody has their clock positions. You have to watch which side of the room is unsafe. Luckily it's the other side of the room for me and my spot is on number 4 over here. So I just stay here and then that goes off, everyone goes into the centre for heal and then you have to watch out for what happens next. So that is numbers and in, you wait for the cast bar to finish and then run back to your number for another Shiva to happen again. And then you run into the centre and get some heals. And at this point you can just nuke the boss again. And it's advisable just to get right underneath the boss, get right into the centre of the hitbox for a mechanic that will be coming up shortly, because she will freeze the entire platform and half the party needs to slide off in one direction and the other half of the party slide off in the opposite direction. So it's just advisable just to be in the centre to make sure that you do position yourself correctly with the slide. People may have heard the term Shiva memes. This is what Shiva memes are. This is where it all comes from. This is where people mess up a lot. This is quite a tricky mechanic to get to grips with when you come into Savage, especially like kind of compared to the other fights in this tier. This can be quite a tricky mechanic. But there we go. So you can see the two safe spots. They don't always go left and right. It can be anywhere around the arena. You have your assigned positions. And then I slide in there. And then you will drop 8 icicles. You will get tethered to one of them and you have to run far away, and if the tether line is still pink you are not safe. If it's purple you are safe. So I'm just chucking shields on everyone, using knockback so you don't get knocked off the side, ensure my tether is purple, make sure everyone is spread out, and that's the part that trips everybody up, is everyone being spread out, because the range of that is quite lethal. And if you're stood too close to anybody, it will kill both of you. But there we go, that's the Shiva memes part past. And we just nuke down for a second, just waiting for the next mechanic, which will be Titan. So Junction Titan is starting, and anybody who's ever done E4 Savage, and this is quite a similar mechanic to that. So all 8 players will get a mark above their head, and you have to look which mark you get to go to the correct spot. So I've got a blue spot above my head, which means that I need to run to C for the first, and then run back into the centre for heals, and then watch out for the second mark. So the second time I got orange, which means I go to B, and then run back in for heals again, and then just await the third and final lot of markers. So I've got blue again, and this time I go to 3 with it. And there we go, there's Titan passed. Lots of big AoE. This is a big healer check, this fight. The healers have to be on the toes, as well as everybody else as well, optimising their rotation, their cooldowns, their debuffs. You have to like kind of time them correctly. I'm just looking down just for a second. And watch what comes next. We'll have to stack next. So this is going to be a Ramu and a Ifrit, so sides and out. Everybody stacks together. And then a big beam through there. And then we all run into the centre for the starter pop to get healed. And then once the star has popped, half the party will go to the other side. So half will stack at the back of it, and half will stack at the front. Just watch what that is casting. So that is a Ramu and a Garuda, so that will be a sides out. And then you have 4 stack each side. And then you have to look what number tether you've got. So I've got number 1 and the first one. So number 1 goes off, then you swap with number 2. Then number 3 will go out, and then you have to look which hand is glowing. So that side is glowing purple. And then number 4 goes off, and then everyone gets pushed back. And then it was a numbers and out as a stock, so she's just going to release that. And there we go. And we're about to now come into the hardest mechanic of phase 1, Lions. Now, we did actually make a mistake with this. We pretty much almost wiped, but with the now added echo of 10% extra damage, we were still able to recover despite that. I'm not sure where the mistake happened, but it's such a tricky mechanic. It's easy to do, but luckily we were able to recover from it. So we look at what the stock is. So that's a Garuda and a Leviathan. So that is going to be a numbers in stock. So first off, 4 people will get tethered to a lion, so either the 4 DPS or the 2 tanks and healers. And then you go to the opposite corner and stand there. Then you use a knockback. And then the second blast will go off. And then now we will do a release, so numbers in. And there was a couple of mistakes there, and there was just no way of surviving that. But luckily, the summoner survived. So the summoner was able to raise one of the healers, and then the healer was able to limit break 3 and get us all back up again, except for the bard, who unfortunately was the limit break just didn't hit them. Not sure why that happened. And now it's similar to the Titan and Shiva from the first phase. So look at what is being stocked. So that was a Leviathan and a Ramu, so that's a north-south stock. So you need to remember that. And then there's a Junction Shiva. So she's about to cast Shiva Spread, and we need to do a Ramu and a Garuda. So a numbers out, followed by a spread. And then normally it would then go into the other one, so it would be then a Titan. I can't even remember what I said the original stock was. I think I said Ramu and Garuda and Leviathan, so it would have been numbers in and stack. But by this point we've already killed it anyway. And there is phase 1 done. So nice and easy. I say nice and easy. It's not at all. It takes a lot of practice. And as I said, like kind of that 17, 18 odd clears, and we still made a mistake and almost wiped. But here we go, just about to go into phase 2, so enjoy the cinematic.
Metron? Ah!
Yes, I remember. I am Gaia. Mine was the seat of Logreth. I shall restore the power of darkness to this star. I shall fulfill my duty as the Oracle of Darkness!
So here we go, phase 2. Now phase 2, we actually did probably the best we've ever done the entire time we've done it of any run. This went extremely well. I've hidden the chat now as well, just purely because some of the stuff that was being discussed may not have been appropriate for a YouTube video. But off we go. So straight away the tank pulls her south, and everyone make sure to stand in that star. And the first thing she will do is drop everybody to 1 health. So the healers now have to rush to get everybody back up to full again, because that shockwave pulsar is a huge damage. But good shields, great healing. Makiko and Evelyn, our healers, are absolutely fantastic, so no problems there at all. And then here she will either do one of two things. So everyone will either need to spread at the start and then stack afterwards, or they will stack first and then spread. So you just have to watch which one she casts first. But we do the spread first, and then you can see that the stack marks are there waiting for it to go off in a second, so she kind of stocks that ready, so everyone kind of like stacks up behind. And what she will do is she will actually knock everybody back, and then everybody kind of runs in together, but in your separate groups. So you have 4 on this side stacking and 4 on the other side stacking, but everybody runs in just for like uptime and to get back there quicker. And there's also a star placed there as well, ready to heal us up straight away. So the tank will now pull her back into the middle again. And now we go into the first of 3 relativities. So this is basic relativity. So everybody will have debuffs. I'm not familiar with what the tanks and healers debuffs are. I've never done that, so I don't know, so don't ask me. But the DPS will either get a short fire or long fire, or a short ice or long ice. This time I got a long fire. So what I will do is I'll just run up here in front of the tanks. Behind me there will be a yellow, almost like traffic light, which is considered true north for this point of the fight. So we wait for all that to go off, and then I've got long fire, so I'm going to run to this right hand side here. And then everybody can just take a quick breather as it zooms around, hope that nobody has got it wrong. They haven't. Awesome. Put some shields up and run back in again for the stack. And there we go, that's the first basic relativity done. So followed by another shockwave pulsar, so a big room-wide AoE. If anybody is dead, then it will still do 8-person damage spread over 7. If say 3 people were dead, it would do 8 people's worth of damage spread over 5, so you don't want people dead for that. But here we go with singular apocalypse. So the first of 3 apocalypses, each one getting progressively harder. And she turns, and you have to run to the opposite side of whichever way she turns. And then stand just on the edge of this circle here and wait for the centre to explode, and then run into that safe zone as soon as it does. So just waiting for it. There you go. We run into the centre. Everybody stacks up for Shell Crusher. As soon as she hits that, everybody spread out. Heal yourself up, and then she will jump to a random person and do a massive hit on them, and that time it was a tank. So everybody runs back into the centre again. Get yourself healed back up again, followed by another shockwave pulsar again. and the next mechanic will be intermediate relativity, so the second one. So again, everybody will get debuffs, but this time it's different. Everybody this time gets 3 different debuffs, and you have to look and go backwards from what you've got, so working backwards there. So I have got a flare, which means that I need to put it on the outside. Then we have got a spread, which is that purple one with 18 seconds. So that will go on my marker on number 4, my same marker from phase 1. And then I've got an ice last, which will go straight in the centre. Everybody needs to face the outside, otherwise you will get doom. And then the same as the part 1, you just sit back and hope that nobody got it wrong while it zooms you around, which nobody did. So run back straight into the centre again, into that star, get yourself healed up, another shockwave pulsar instantly. And now we're going to go into the second apocalypse, so dual apocalypse. So this one's a little bit more tricky, so this time you've got 2 things spinning around the outside, and sometimes it may not be safe, so watch which way she faces, run away, watch them circles that are coming around, so we wouldn't be safe, so we need to kind of like dodge out of the way of that one, wait for the middle to explode again, there we go, and then just move just a little bit forward from the centre while the tanks do their mechanics that they need to do. And then there will be another shell crusher again incoming. There we go, shell crusher. So as soon as this has gone off, we will then spread out again. And again, she will just target a random person from the party and do a huge hit on them. Again, it was on a tank, which was quite lucky, followed by another shockwave pulsar again. And we're about to go into advanced relativity. So at this point she becomes untargetable, so you can just focus solely on the mechanic this time. Again, everybody gets debuffs, but this time you have to run to your specific way. So this is going to be the same way as phase 1, which way you would slide, and then everybody has their set positions. So I've got fire, so I would go there. Then I would just stand at the side here, and because I've taken a melee spot, I will run here, face outside. Everybody has to face outside, otherwise they get doom. Everybody zooms back again. Hope that nobody's got it wrong, which they didn't. Put some shields up quickly. And there we go. So another shockwave pulsar yet again. And now we go into triple APOG. Now triple APOG is a mechanic that I have really struggled with. Of the static, I'm the one that's found it the most difficult. I die most runs on this mechanic, but this run I actually did it perfect. Not a single person died. So you have to like kind of follow these lines, stand in a specific spot, then run back in, run behind and get knocked back to a safe spot. I always mess that up, but all 8 of us survived that time. Really nicely done. And then at this point she will do another shockwave pulsar, and then she will go into a mini enrage, which you will not see this fight because we killed it too quickly, but she does some big room-wide AoEs over and over again for about 2 minutes. It happened, well, no, about a minute. It probably just feels like about 10 minutes because of how long it goes on and how difficult it is. But there we go, there's an E12 Savage clear. Yeah, don't be disheartened if you do get to this fight and you do struggle with it. It does take a lot of practice, it takes a lot of coordination. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It took our static, I think, probably about 2 months to do it, with various people leaving and joining at differing times. I think we may have done it quicker if we'd had a consistent team. But that's just the way it is in a static. You just kind of like sock it up and get on with it. And the last run, so I'm just making sure that I'm able to roll on that, so I don't want the weapon. I've got the mount, I've got the minion, I've got the roll, don't need the body piece. And then we've got a Gunbreaker 535 weapon, which is a really good one, so just making sure that I'm allowed to roll on that. which I did actually manage to get as well, which I was happy with. But there we go. So thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I hope this may have been a benefit to you if it is something that you are considering doing in the future. But stay safe, take care, look after yourselves, and I will see you soon for more Final Fantasy content. Goodbye!